Hello everyone, my name is Legend Ronnie and this game is Rise of Kingdoms. And today we're gonna talk about Attila and Tekeda, or trying to help you guys how to defend against Attila and Tekeda. I'm gonna show you guys a couple of reports of successfully defending against Attila and Takeda. I'm gonna show you some bad ones as well, because who doesn't like a lot of their troops, and we're gonna go into some talent and build for that kind of defense, because it's not what you are expecting. It's not something that you are using every day on your defense. It's something a bit more specific against Attila and Takeda. Now, what I want to show you guys in this video is pretty much how other people manage to defend. I'm not saying that this is the best way, but I'm definitely going to show you some really good reports, and you're definitely going to enjoy this kind of reports, because I was complaining about Attila and Tekeda like many others, and probably the majority of players, saying that Attila and Tekeda, they are freaking OP. We didn't look on the bigger picture, or at least we didn't try to find a counter on the actual commander that we have in the game, and apparently there is something that can actually hold their own against Attila and Tekeda. So the first reports I want to show you guys is pretty much some, those kind of crazy reports where Attila and Tekeda just done some devastating damage. So you're noticing there is a YSG and a Wuzitian in Garrison. My preference would be the other way around, Wuzitian and YSG. Apparently they are not very successful defending against Attila and Tekeda. You guys have seen these kind of reports over and over, when Attila and Tekeda, not even max Takeda, they are doing some devastating damage. No reason to go further down on the severely wounded, because you guys seen at the beginning people swarming the rally, meaning that, a lot of crazy shit has happened. Now on the second report, it's the same. They have swapped a little bit, and I'm not sure if you're noticing, it doesn't look as bad, but still YSG, it is a skill damage dealer. He's very good, he has his role in there, but honestly Attila and Tekeda, they survive very well against skill damage, and Wuzitian is a very good counter against commanders that do a lot of skill damage, while Attila and Tekeda, they don't do any skill damage. So as a result, we're actually looking for commanders that can resist other commanders which don't do skill damage. I hope that makes sense. And you're noticing that they swapped the commanders. Richard, Alexander, still didn't work. Another Richard and Alexander, still didn't work. The counter rally apparently still didn't do so well either, and it is a counter rally in the end. It's only getting the sidekick, which is still powerful. They swapped the commanders again, still didn't work so well. Now this is a city defense, and honestly, this is very painful for me, because this is my garrison defense in my city. So we are noticing a Max, Sansu and YSG defending this city, and wow, this is very painful. Almost 1 million dead on his side, plus a full hospital for one player. That's not very easy to recover. Yeah, and the reason I'm showing is because it's the same person with not max Takeda. So these are the first 3 reports I want to show you guys, when Attila and Takeda, with pretty much the same build, they are doing some devastating damage against commanders that do skill damage. So we need something that can survive normal attack damage, because pretty much that's what Attila and Takeda does. So let's see if we can find something like that. So this is the first report I want to show you. It's from the same alliance. He is using a Constantine the First and a Charles Martel as a defense. But this is something very important that you want to notice about this report, and this is the reason I'm showing it to you guys, is that the garrison got smashed. Now, what's that meaning if the garrison got smashed? At some point, the garrison became so low where the rally was actually just doing way too much damage to the garrison. That's why the balance has shifted in favor of the rally. That's why the death count went higher on Constantine and Charles' side. So there was no swarming at all. Attila and Takeda with not max Attila. How about that? 5-4-2 for Attila, but it is a max Takeda. So again, if the defense would have been topped up at all time, my guess would be that this would have been pretty balanced in terms of death counts. But let's see if we can find some reports where it's actually balanced. cancelled. So here we have the first report where actually the rally was cancelled, and I'm showing you the same player, which you guys have noticed against different type of commanders. He has done tremendously good. If we look at the troops buff, he's the same player with not max Takeda, going against Constantine and Charles again, but where the Garrison was being topped up. So you're noticing the difference in dead. So is Attila and Tekeda actually overpowered? They are very powerful, but there is a counter to them. So Constantine and Charles seems to hold their own against Attila and Tekeda. Here we have another replay where actually the rally took a tiny bit more dead, but it's the same situation. The Garrison was being topped up and the rally was out of reinforcement, so it was forced to disband. You're noticing that it wasn't actually left to go that low. The rally was actually disbanded at 1.1 million. Same player again, Constantine and Charles Martel. You're noticing the same results, just a tiny bit more dead. But if you're looking at the power difference, if you're looking at that, I would definitely say that the defense was using way more T5s to defend rather than the rally that was attacking. So the rally that was attacking was definitely mostly T4 troops, and the defense was definitely mostly T5 troops. T5 do bring a value on the defense, I have to say, but again, in the end, it matters the results, not exactly what you use. And personally, I prefer T5s to die in Garrison rather than heal them and use them on the field battle. This is another rally report against a different player, but it's still Attila and Tekeda. And if we look at the troops buff, this is a max skill Attila and Takeda, but who do we use in this defense? We use Charles and Richard. How about that? Now, the only reason I would say that this report it was in favor of the Garrison defending was probably because the rally was left to go too low at some point. If the rally would have been disbanded at 1 million, I would say that it would have been much more in favor of the rally. Still a very good report if you look at it. So definitely Charles and Richard with the right talents, and like I said, we're gonna go into the talents as well. We're gonna talk about that, which are the best talents to use with either Constantine, Charles, or even Wu Zetian for this matter to defend against Attila and Tekeda. Here we have Charles and Constantine, and this is honestly, I would say, one of my favorite tanky infantry builds that is probably right now in the game. I haven't tested Leon either, so I can't talk about that, but Charles and Constantine, I believe in my knowledge that this is the most tanky build that there is out there in terms of infantry, with Charles leading obviously, and it's done pretty well against Attila and Takeda again. So if you're looking at the troops buff, you're noticing the infantry health, defense and attack is pretty darn stacked up. On the other side, the cav attack, cav defense and health again it's pretty stocked up, but still 250 cav attack. We're gonna debate about why Constantine or Charles, they are actually doing so good in this type of defenses, or even Richard. And here we have another small taste of Charles and Constantine, and obviously Attila and Takeda. And again, max skill Attila and Takeda. So now that we have seen the reports, I can actually tell you that there is a couple of pairs that can actually hold their own, or hold strong, hold the line, however you want to call it, against Attila and Takeda. One of the commanders that we have seen doing very well is obviously Constantine. Now you're probably wondering, because I personally was wondering the same, now why Constantine? How can Constantine be actually so good against Attila and Takeda? If we look at him, he is so focused on reducing skill damage. He's kind of a commander to counter those skill damage in commander. He has support tree. If you go to the talents on the support tree, what does he get? Skill damage reduction. More skill damage reduction. How can he actually be possible so good against Attila and Takeda, which they don't do any skill damage? Well, for the simple fact of his rejuvenate, meaning that he's gonna pop skills as often as possible. That's number one. Two, his infantry, and he is reducing a shit ton of attack for 5 seconds. Meaning that if you have a good rage engine with Constantine, you will be able to actually keep this debuff on the target for as long as there can be. 40% attack reduction for Cavs, that's not something you want to throw away. Then is also minus 10% damage taken reduction as well, which is also for 5 seconds, so that's pretty insane. That makes the Garrison being very powerful and very tanky. 40% infantry health, that's a lot, that's a lot. I always said that infantry is the one that benefits the most from health. Now increase the attack of Garrison by 10% and attack of Watchtower. Now I'm not 100% sure if this actually works in a flag or not, but if it actually works, then that's another bonus because he's a Garrison commander and he's being used in Garrison. With expertise, another 15% attack and 5% defense. Now this is pretty useless, that big heal, I have seen it, but it's not something you're looking in a Garrison to skill damage reduction, but it's his primary skill, his infantry health bonus, and the fact that he has a good range engine. So if you want to make a build with Constantine to actually defend against Attila and Takeda, you need to stop thinking about the skill damage reduction, healing. You don't need this. The only thing you need from the support is Rejuvenate. The next thing that you need from the Garrison tree is definitely you need empty fortresses, you need impregnable fortification. You don't need impregnable, this is skill damage taken reduction. So why would you need that against Attila and Takeda? No, you don't. This nowhere to turn, I don't actually believe that it's working in Garrison because it mentions here every time the city is attacked. When this commander is serving as Garrison commander, grants an additional 2 rage every time the city is attacked. So I believe that this is a city specific. And then you have King's Guard, which this is a pretty awesome talent. You definitely want to get that. No effect when garrisoning cities, so that's a bit of a buff for flag Garrison. So you definitely want to get King's Guard as well because you want to maximize the stats. After that, you still have a lot of points left, I can guarantee you that. So what can you do? Because you're definitely going to do a full infantry defense. You have Iron Spear, which against Cavs. Then you have Undying Fury. You have Strong of Body, which obviously gives you health. And if you actually get to hold the line, which gives you a 10% chance to reduce damage taken by up to 20% for the next 2 seconds after being attacked. This is a very nice talent as well, because that is exactly what Attila and Takeda do. They do a lot of normal attacks, and along the way you obviously are gonna get double axe as well. There's actually a pretty solid then build that you can do with your Constantine to actually survive against Attila and Takeda. Another commander we have seen being used, and I was told, but I don't have reports, I was told that either Charles Martel and Wu Zetian or Wu Zetian and Charles Martel, they are also doing pretty decent with full infantry against Attila and Takeda. Now, I'm not 100% sure that Wu Zetian leading actually do so good. I would more be inclined that Charles Martel would actually do good. But if it's actually her leading, you have the same thing. You don't need the skill damage reduction. What you need from her is the Rejuvenate. Then you go to the Garrison and you need King's Guard. You go straight away to the King's Guard. You need empty fortresses. And after that, you're not doing mix of troops. You definitely need to do a single type of troops. You're probably gonna get strategic prowess. That's very needed, strategic prowess. You do get Mars speed on the way, but it is what it is. And the second thing, which I'm not 100% sure you have enough talents, would be close formation to actually get some attack. This would be the actual build that will probably help you out. Definitely not mix of troops. I doubt that mix of troops would work defending against Attila and Takeda. So you need to do a full infantry. But again, I'm more inclined of using Constantine or Charles over Wu Zetian. Now let's go to Charles Martel, because we have seen Charles Martel as well. And do I have him level 60? Yes, I do. So obviously I have done a build for that as well. Like I said, my all-time favorite, I would say that Charles Martel and Constantine should actually be the best. Again, Constantine has a very good rage engine with Rejuvenate. That's a lot of rage restoration he can bring to the party. So it needs to be tested if actually Charles can be better than Constantine. From the reports that I have seen, I still believe that Charles Martel should do much better. If we look at the talents of Charles Martel, there is too many defensive options that can actually empower that. But the problem is that everyone is asking, he's not generating enough rage. I highly agree with that. He's definitely not generating enough rage. But how about if you grant him enough rage? Because for example, if you look at Desperate Elegy, in this situation, it says when the army led by this commander has been reduced to 30% strength, greatly increased rage accumulation rate for the next 20 seconds. An additional 25 rage will be received from each attack. Now, personally, I do believe, because I haven't checked the battle log with having the Desperate Elegy talent, I do believe that this 25 rage is permanent for each attack, meaning that each turn you get at least 25 rage, which is a lot. Then you have Burning Blood, which gives you another 6 rage, and then you have Undying Fury, which gives you another 9 rage. So that would be 40 rage per turn without the normal rage generation that you generate during the battle. Nobody knows how that actually works or is being calculated, but I believe that this is quite a lot of rage that Charles Martel can actually generate. So therefore, Charles Martel can actually work as well against Attila and Tekeda with this build, or at least this is what I would try. You don't need skill damage taken reduction, because Attila and Tekeda, they don't do such things. You don't need impregnable, you're not getting any skill damage. What you do need, you need to empower your infantry as much as possible and have some rage generation, some damage to those cabs. So I do believe that this talent build will actually be, or at least sort out all the problems. But now it comes the second part, which a lot of people, they don't take it in consideration, especially in the Lost Kingdom, which is very important, is the all damage. There is the circles, right? There is the circle that reduces the counterattack damage you take. There is the circle that gives you all damage 3%. Not to mention the pre-KVK event, which the top 2 ranks is the 3% all damage and the 2% all damage. So when you want to check a report, there's a lot of factors that you need to take in consideration. You also need to take in consideration the buffs. There is the high runes, 5% attack and defense. Are the reports from a sub-alliance? Maybe the sub-alliance doesn't have in the original kingdom all the buildings, all the shrines, or the relics, or the holy sites, which can obviously reduce your stats, the equipment, the buffs, the runes. So there's a lot of factors that can actually, make a report look whoa. When you look at it, they lost 2.4 million dead versus 600 dead. Oh my god. When you look at some reports, there's a lot of factors that you need to take in consideration. Did those commanders actually have Garrison talent tree? There's a lot of things involved in here, so don't just need to jump up and down about some reports. There's things you need to take in consideration. That's pretty much my advices about how you could best defend against Attila and Takeda. I will definitely upload a video where in my Lost Kingdom we defended against Attila and Takeda, and in that video you guys gonna see how we best try to defend against them. And I'm also gonna show the build that we used. It was not this build, unfortunately, which I would have think about it, but at that moment we used what we had, so it wasn't so beautiful, but it still worked fairly good. I hope you guys find this video helpful, and I hope you guys find this video interesting, and maybe it's gonna calm down a little bit the spirits about Attila and Takeda being so damn overpowered, and actually try to work and try to counter them, try to beat them, rather than just, complaining because I was one of them, sort of speaking. So I hope you guys find this video helpful. Again, until next time, this is your boy Geroni signing off. Peace out, yo, and take care.